Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. The time being 7:01, the appointed hour having arrived and a quorum being present, I'll now call the special town meeting to order. I'll ask the town clerk to come forward to read the warning and the return.
To either of the constables of the town of Freetown, greeting. In the name of the Commonwealth, you are hereby required to notify and warn the inhabitants of the town of Freetown who are qualified to vote in the elections and town affairs to meet at Apponequet Regional High School, 100 Howland Road, Lakeville, Massachusetts, on Monday, the 28th day of July, 2025 at 7 p.m., then and there to act on the following articles, viz. Warrant for the special town meeting, Town of Freetown, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Monday, July 28th, 2025, 7 p.m. Apponequet Regional High School, Robert C. Falcon Auditorium, 100 Howland Road in Lakeville, Massachusetts. And you are hereby directed to serve this warrant by posting attested copies thereof at the following places: the Assonet Post Office, the East Freetown Post Office, Junior's Convenience Store in Assonet, the Freetown Town Hall, Freetown Communication Center, and Freetown Fire Rescue Station Number 3. Hereof, fail not, and make return of the original warrant with your doings thereon immediately after making service thereof to the town clerk of the town of Freetown, Massachusetts, given under our hands and seal of the town of Freetown this 7th day of July, Anno Domini 2025. Signed, the Town of Freetown Board of Selectmen, Trevor R. Matthews, Jared C. Zager, Carlos A. Lopes. July 11th, 2025. To the Town Clerk, Town of Freetown, Massachusetts. I have this day posted attested copies of the warrant in the designated places described herein. In Assonet, the Assonet Post Office, Junior's Convenience Store, and the Freetown Town Hall. In East Freetown, the East Freetown Post Office, Fire Station Number 3, and the Freetown Communication Center. Signed, Scott M. Rose, Constable. Hereof, fail not.
Hereof, fail not. Okay, folks, a couple of general ground rules we go over each time. If you have a cell phone, please make sure it's silent. If you wish to come up and speak during the meeting, we have a microphone right over there. You want to make sure that you inform us of your name and at the very least which side of town you live on. You don't have to give your specific address. Nobody should speak unless recognized by the moderator. You may be familiar now, if you've been to the last couple of meetings, with these clickers. If you are not, these are a system that was implemented earlier this year to aid in counting. These do not take the place of Pollen Myrna, they just give them a break, especially when it's hot. So please make use of them if you need to. I don't remember, if they push buttons now, will it give them a shape? Will it tell them if it's working? We did that once before.
We did a practice one. We can do a test.
Okay, we're going to test these in a second. I'm going to let Cheryl get set up for that, and then that's just to make sure that the batteries are working and your clicker functions if it's supposed to.
So we'll do a 10-second timer.
Okay. Oh, well, look at that. She had a question already primed.
Okay.
Will the Red Sox win the World Series? 10 seconds, yes or no? Now you should have a number. You should have a number and the word okay in a box, in the little box, the little TV looking box. That odd noise tells us the 10 seconds is up. 111 people, we'll let it go. 130, 114. Close the vote. Oh, whoa. I'm going to need 68 people to get up and leave the room at this time. We had 100, how many?
117.
So we have 117 people who have checked in this evening as of a moment ago, which means 3 people took the high road and just didn't vote. We appreciate that as well. Before I begin, I'm just going to make a note. If you were here in June in particular, Articles 1 and 2 are going to look familiar to you because they were on the June town meeting, but they appeared as a single article at that time. At that time, they were $2.5 million to do both of these things, engineering and purchasing land. They've been split up tonight into 2 different votes. When I get through reading Article 1, as is typical, we'll take a motion and a second, and then we'll open the discussion. But because Articles 1 and 2 go hand in hand, they're both talking about and trying to accomplish the same thing, the discussion can be about both articles. We usually limit the discussion to only the specific article we're dealing with, but it wouldn't make a lot of sense to discuss one and not the other when they both have something to do with each other. So feel free during the discussion on Article 1 to breach into Article 2 a little bit if you would like to, because it just would make sense. Last thing before we begin, and I think I'm going to get the nod from Kylie, tomorrow evening's concert, canceled because of the heat. So stay home, put on your own tunes, hang out in your backyard in the shade. Don't come down to the bandstand. You'll be very lonely and sad. I'm going to take, I believe, and I don't want to put anybody on the spot, somebody did ask before about making a motion, and I would entertain it at this time, to use the clickers for all of the votes this evening. Is that something you would still like to do? Motion has been made and seconded. What that is typically the clickers would take the place of the voice vote if it was questionable. We have had a few people who have asked, could we just use them out of the gate for all 3 questions tonight? That's the question we're going to vote on right now, is whether we will use voice voting this evening or whether we will use the clickers for all of our voting this evening. All those who are in favor of using the clickers for all votes, please say aye at this time. Aye. Anyone who would rather do what we just did for all of the votes, please say nay. Wow. Everybody's in a quiet mood this evening. So we begin. Article 1, to see if the town will vote to, I'm sorry, that passed unanimously, frighteningly. Article 1, to see if the town will vote to transfer from the stabilization fund the sum of $2,460,000 for the purchase of a parcel of land located on Bullock Road, East Freetown, identified as Assessor's Parcel 239-038, including any costs incidental and related thereto, under such terms and conditions as the Board of Selectmen deem in the best interest of the town. Said property to be held under the care, custody, management, and control of the Board of Selectmen for general municipal purposes, and further to authorize the Board of Selectmen to enter into such agreements and execute such documents or instruments as may be necessary to effectuate the purposes of this article, and or take any action relative thereto. This was submitted by the Board of Selectmen. It requires a 2/3 vote. The Finance Committee recommends this article. Motion is made and seconded to adopt Article 1 as read. Now, as I open the floor for discussion, I remind you that Article 2 is also fair game for the discussion, but we will only be voting on Article 1. So if anyone has questions, comments, or concerns about either of those articles, please come forward now. Don't all hurry.
Mike Blaze, East Freetown. I think $2.5 million is an awful lot of money for a piece of property in the center of town. I don't think the town needs this. I think that this is a want. You guys can tear down the senior center and add on where the old police station was. Use a big common building. You don't need this. We're still paying for a $12 million police station. I think this is too much.
Okay. What?
Brian Miller, Flag Swamp Road. I remember it was a year ago, 2 years ago, we had the opportunity to buy the land that was across the street from Town Hall. And we didn't do that, and it was like $100 and something thousand, and now it's just sitting there, vacant, doing nothing for anybody. And this is $78,000 an acre. The average cost of an acre in Massachusetts is about $300,000 right now. This is a no-brainer for the future of this town to buy this land. I mean, I can't believe that it's even was shot down last time. When we look at this little vacant land that's sitting there, that's doing absolutely nothing, that we could have voted on because we wanted to wait to get an assessed value, and we did this time. We have the value. It's far below what the market value is. I mean, this town's going to grow, and it sucks because a lot of people don't want it to. I get it, but the train's going to change things, and the town hall is going to be something that needs to be bigger and in a central location. Even if something doesn't get built there, just owning that land is 32 acres of land. I mean, if I had $2.4 million, I'd buy it. So, anyways, thank you.
Thanks. Nick, go ahead.
Nick Flanders, East Freetown over on Betty Spring Road. Just looking at this and looking at the mapping, we're looking at including a new Council on Aging building, on this property. Currently, with the way the map's drawn out, the Council on Aging is separating the two buildable lots by the old police station. If that was included in the buildable land, since we will be building a new Council on Aging, that would put, just guessing without actually doing the measurements, between 200 and 250,000 square feet. So it would over double the size of the largest buildable lot available on there. I know there's a hurdle of what do we do to accommodate the loss of the Council on Aging for the construction period. But besides that, I'm curious how that would sit acre-wise relative to the 8-point-something acres that they'd be looking to utilize on this 38 or 32-acre lot.
Okay, do we have anybody that would like to address? Yeah.
I'm always prepared, right? Can you hear me? Because I know often you can't hear me. The issue is that the immediate issue is a COA / library building. But long-term, there's going to be future needs for the town. This land is not going to be available for sale. I don't foresee it if we don't buy it. I think the family might do other things with it. So it's one of those things that it's not just for this one building. That is the immediate need or the immediate thing that we're looking to do with it, but it's also for a future town hall, for future buildings, for future whatever. We don't know what it's going to be. And we have heard from many residents that they like to be centrally located. If you're on the far end of East Freetown and you're coming to the Apponequet side to do your business, it's a long haul. The other piece of this is town hall. We are renting an annex to the town hall now because we are out of space at the town hall, and we're still out of space at the town hall. We still need more. The annex actually needs more space. So the goal is to possibly build this new building and move the annex people up into the COA building. So it's not that it's going to go to waste, and I'm not sure what you would do with the seniors if you were to demolish that building to build a new building. I think they would be displaced for quite some time, a year to 2 years. So I don't have a solution for that.
Okay.
Did I answer your questions?
To a point, I understand the challenge.
Oh, Nick, just move up a little bit closer.
Apologies. I understand, having gone to the Council on Aging, helping with my grandfather the last couple of years, I know it is not a typically heavily utilized building. Okay. Okay.
Hold on.
It's been a few years. Apologies. Apparently that's a. But I just would like to make sure that we're spending everything the way we should. I saw that engineering is coming from grant money. How much of this construction, do we have any ballpark on the actual cost to the town for this structure?
Well, again, this vote is about the land, so the whole building a building is a different vote, but we're not there yet. There is a library grant that's in the mix. I'm not sure that we're gonna be able to move forward with it because of the MBTA Communities Act, which we'll be seeing probably again at some future town meeting, but right now we're in non-compliance. The selectmen will be setting a budget for the new building. We haven't done that yet. I'm going to tell you it's probably going to be roughly around $15 million. And the budget number is driven by what we can afford without raising taxes, at least from what we're looking at currently. So just know that even purchasing this land is money that we're using out of our stabilization funds. It's not going to raise your taxes any more than what they normally get raised, I will say. So, and I think somebody had mentioned the PD. The PD is almost paid off. I'm not sure if Matt has a number, but we have, I think 2029 is the last year. We pay $500,000 a year on the PD. So we'll be going into 2026. We owe about $1.5 million on the PDs, and that's really the town's majority of the debt. We don't have too much other debt.
Jared Zager, I just wanted to address one of his concerns, and one of the things that we had talked about was the amount of space that it would take in order to build the building really wasn't feasible where the COA is, as well as the old police station. And then one of the other things, we put the pods in at the COA because in talking with a lot of the seniors, they said, we don't have the time to wait for a new building. We want something immediately. And the pods were our reaction, a town, not just us, our town's reaction in order to give them an immediate fix. If we were to do something on that facility, these buildings aren't built overnight. So the people, a lot of people would say that they'll never see the new building. So obviously we hope they all do, but that's something that I heard directly from them all. So that was also something that played into the factor of us trying to find another piece of usable land that we could build on without disrupting the flow. So I just also wanted to clarify that for you.
Charles Sullivan, High Street. I'm not opposed to purchasing property. I'm not opposed to building new buildings. I know we need that. But my first question, I guess, would be, you say that there was an appraisal. Where's the information on the appraisal? No, they say an appraisal was done. What was the value of the what was the value given?
There was an appraisal done by Real Worth Appraising and Consultant. It was done by the sellers, but it's an unbiased appraisal.
Wait a minute,
The highest and best use.
Excuse me, you're saying the sellers gave you a amount that they had the
They gave me
property.
the appraisal
Okay,
from
but
the appraisal.
we've never, okay. I kind of question, I mean, if I was a seller and I went out and I got an appraisal, I think I would be pushing for it to be very, very high, as high as it possibly can. I think before we go out and we purchase something, we should know what the value actually is. And we don't have the actual value. I find it very concerning that you're saying it's over $75,000 an acre, when recently there was a piece of property on Middleborough Road that was 20 acres of land. And when I did out the math from the percentage of the appraisal and what the purchase price was, it came to $17,000 an acre for 20 acres. Now, I don't know.
That's a great deal. 17
Well, hold on, excuse me. But that's the science. That's the science behind appraising. You go out and you say, what's been sold? You get, okay, then that's the value. Okay, maybe $17,000 was a steal, but I don't think it's $75,000, and I think it's way too much. And if they want to come in at a reasonable, they want to come in at a reasonable price, I'm fine. But $2.5 million for that property is way too much. You can't, and if the town isn't gonna go out and show their facts, then I got to question their facts.
So I'm just going to state that the appraisal was done for the highest and best use of the land. So you take the land and you say, what's the highest use you can do on the land, and then you value it accordingly. You look at all of the things that you can do. And this appraisal came back that actually, I think 50 units of senior housing would be the highest and best use for the land, and they valued it accordingly. That being said, I did try to negotiate with them. They basically said if we wanted the land, this is the price, and that was the price. To do our own appraisal and spend money on a separate document would have just been another waste of money. These are a reputable firm. They're not going to skew the numbers for their client because they need to be able to stand up and defend it. So that's where the number came from.
Hi, John Viorella. I live in East Freetown. So one of the comments I want to make is I've been to a lot of these meetings, a lot of these planning meetings, finance committee meetings, town halls. One of the things that I hear consistently is that a lot of people who live here in Freetown are concerned about development, right? and we're worried about the speed of development here and things of that nature. So I ask you to consider this when you vote. If we don't buy this land, which is for sale, who else has the resources to do that? That would be a developer. So if you're concerned about development in Freetown, the best thing you could do to prevent further development in Freetown is for us to purchase this valuable piece of land for ourselves and take it off the board. So,
I couldn't agree more. Amy Cipher, Freetown, and Chair of the Library Trustees. So of course, selfishly, I want this property, but I wanted to come up here and say, even if we never build a library, I want our town to have this property. It is in the center of our town. We can use it for whatever we decide over the next several decades. The only thing in our town that is finite is land. This is the most common sense solution to everyone's anti-development sentiment. Let's just buy it and use it for what we want, not what somebody else comes in and decides for us.
I'm going to ask you to let Wayne go first.
Yeah, that's fine.
He hasn't
Go for it.
spoken yet.
That's fine.
And whoever shut this off. can
Wayne
turn it
J.
back on. I don't know what's going on.
I'm from Freetown, Mass, not East Freetown and not Assonet. I'm from the town of Freetown. Been here 44 years, and I think we're divided, and coming forward with something centralized is one more step to bring us together. We've shown that this is a great geographical location. I think we'd be very short-sighted if we don't take this opportunity. It's in our lap now, and as a gentleman said just moments ago, who knows what's going to be built on there? If you're afraid of growth, I can put a lot of condos on there. I can put a lot of apartments on those 32 acres. And I know I was at that meeting with the MBTA talks, and growth was extremely important to everyone. I'm obviously a senior. This town has more than 25% of its population is seniors. And if you're not in that category yet, you're working your way toward it. Okay, so you know that we need to improve upon the municipal buildings in this town. The town hall, obviously we can't use the third floor, so now we rent space. Our senior center, the seniors work out of the basement, and now the pods are definitely important, but they're also transportable, and that building can be used for a lot of other town functions. To say that the building's not being utilized, I suggest you look at the calendar and come on down. It's being utilized, and the seniors need it.
Motion to call the question.
So motion has been, I'm going to yell because this thing's off and I don't know why. A motion has been made and seconded to call the question. A motion to call the question is a request to end debate and move immediately to a vote on the article. So what we are voting on right now, I'm going to just do this with voice. It's okay.
Your mic's not. You're good now.
Oh, okay. The TV screen is off. Okay.
Having technical difficulties this
That's all
evening,
right.
I do apologize.
When we come back for a microphone and TV budget, please vote for that. What we're going to take right now is the vote on the motion to call the question. We're going to do this as a voice vote until the TVs get switched back to whatever channel this. Now they're on. Okay. Can't see them from back here, so if they start showing the Red Sox, just let me know that, and I'll come down there. Okay, the timer is going to start now. 10 seconds to vote on whether or not to call the question. No, it's not. Okay. All those in favor of calling the question, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay, see, we're looking out with that. Every time we do that, it's unanimous. So the question has been called. We now move immediately to a vote, and the vote is whether or not to adopt Article 1. No, nobody's is working yet. That's okay. We're not going to actually vote yet. Oh, mine never cleared from the last one. It's not working. It's not working. Okay. All those in favor of Article 1? Aye. All those opposed? In my judgment, that more than met the 2/3 vote. However, if anybody requests a hand count, we can go down that road. Hearing none, Article 1 has been adopted by the 2/3 majority. Article 2, to see if the town will vote to transfer from the stabilization fund the sum of $90,000 for engineering and related services to address design and engineering issues as necessary to make property located on Bullock Road, East Freetown, identified as Assessor's Parcel 239-038, ready to meet the town's needs, including any costs incidental and related thereto, and further to authorize the Board of Selectmen to enter into such agreements and execute such documents or instruments as may be necessary to effectuate the purposes of this article and/or take any action relative thereto. This was submitted by the Board of Selectmen. It requires a 2/3 vote. The Finance Committee recommends this article. Sorry, the 10 seconds from the last vote just ran out. Motion is made and seconded to adopt Article 2 as read. Is there any discussion on Article 2? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Article 2 is adopted unanimously. Article 3, to see if the town will vote to, this one has nothing to do with the land. See, we snuck another one in for you. Article 3, to see if the town will vote to transfer from the Capital Stabilization Fund the sum of $500,000 to repair the Freetown Elementary School roof, including design and construction costs, and any costs incidental and related thereto, and further to authorize the Board of Selectmen to enter into such agreements and execute such documents or instruments as may be necessary to effectuate the purposes of this article and/or take any action relative thereto. This was submitted by the Board of Selectmen. It requires a majority vote. The Finance Committee recommends this article. Motion is made and seconded to adopt Article 3 as read. Is there any discussion on Article 3? Courtney was very excited that the children not be rained on this winter.
All right. Amanda Murphy, East Freetown, but in Wayne's favor, Freetown. Also have lived in Assonet in the past. I am hoping that we are all in favor of this already, but I would feel remiss if I didn't speak about this. I am a parent of one current child and two former at Freetown Elementary School. This past year, we actually lost a kindergarten classroom partway through the year in December to the roof leaks, and that was really, really disruptive for the kids. We want to do what we can to prevent that from happening again. Unfortunately, that teacher of 20 years lost countless personal items, is still working to replace them, so it's a really serious situation at the school, and we need to pass this, hopefully, to get that fixed for our kids.
I don't think yours is on now.
Can you hear me?
So the microphones figured out it was summer vacation.
on
They get
now.
upset we had them come in tonight.
I think I'm working. Am I working now? I just want to say that this is to repair the immediate needs of the roof. This is to repair the leaks that are there, but there will be replacing the roof coming within a year or 2 years. So when you see that article in a year or two, don't say, oh, I thought we did that. This is to repair the roof currently to keep it from leaking, but you will be seeing a replacement of the roof in a year or 2 years. I'm not sure the exact time frame, but it's coming. So I wanted you all to know that.
Hold on. Somebody asked a question, but you need to come down to the microphone to ask it. Or just yell really loud.
Why aren't we replacing it now? Why are we waiting 1 to 2 years?
All right.
It's leaking now.
All right, so we also will just need your name too. Thank you.
We did a lot of research with this, and this was the decision that was made to get the immediate needs, because I think it would take another year or so before we were ready to replace the roof, and we didn't want it to continue to leak.
Chuck LaPre, East Freetown. So one question I have, the Mass School Building Authority has what's called an accelerated repair program that you can go to the state and you can get on the list. I know that Dartmouth High School right now, Dartmouth School Committee, they're in the process that they're trying to place Dartmouth High on that list. School is only 20 years old and the roof is leaking. So I'd like to know what the district, what the Freetown Lakeville Regional School District is doing to go out and get these grant opportunities. We all agree that the roof needs to be replaced. You know, kids shouldn't be learning. I know what it's like to work at a school that the roof is leaking, and I lost my stuff. And when we would have big storms in New Bedford, I would move all of my things to the middle of the room. I would put buckets out, and I would pray and hope for the best. So I don't want to see anybody in Freetown or anywhere go through with that, but I'd like to know what the regional school district is doing to pursue these grant opportunities.
Okay. Do we have anybody from school administration or school committee or anything like that who would like to address that question? We do not. No, all the schools in the district are regional now. There are no independent schools now.
You give me the top, I can tell.
We have the finance committee at least.
Hi.
We're getting one direction.
Carolese, East Freetown, otherwise known as Freetown. One thing I can add from previously working at the regional school district, and I did this for Assawamsett Elementary, who is also owned by the town, is that the regional school district would be the applicant in this case with the MSBA, and they would work with the town on the project. So it would be in the hands of the school district. Now, the roof would have to meet certain age criteria to qualify. And I know that after COVID, the MSBA shut down accelerated repair projects for a short time. So it's possible, especially with having to put in a $500,000 repair, that we might have actually a better shot at getting the grant in a future year through the MSBA. So that's all I just wanted to add.
I will just add to that we will also need to replace windows and doors at the school, and we were looking to do the MSBA application for the windows and doors at the next round, I believe, but it is going to be the school district to really come to the plate with this stuff.
So
Hold on one second, Brian. I should have been clear a second ago when I said there were no more independent schools. The town still owns the elementary school, but the regional school district is who is responsible for it. We gave that up about 15 years ago when we merged all of the school committees and everything into one unit. So I don't want to mislead anybody into thinking that we sold the school or anything like that. We didn't. We still own it. We just don't manage it anymore. Brian, go ahead, please.
Okay, so 500,000 repairs it so that the kids can actually be safe and healthy while they're learning. All right, motion to call the question.
Well, there's nobody else in line anyway. Is there any further discussion on Article 3? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Article 3 is adopted unanimously. Motion to adjourn. And a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? 1. Have a good night. Thank you all for coming out.